The other day, Miguel Cardona, who is the Secretary of the Department of Education, was trying to communicate how the Department of Education, Federal Department of Education, is there to be a partner with state governments, and he had this to say, to try to drive the point home.
You know, we're going to set up follow-up calls with every governor we met with to make sure we're available. As I think it was President Reagan said, we're from the government. We're here to help. There are resources there, there's technical assistance there, and there's a playbook that could support the work you're doing. Count on us as a partner in this. Our students are waiting. Thank you.
Oh, boy.
So, of course, Reagan said the 9 most dangerous words in the English language are, I'm from the government and I'm here to help. He was deriding the government, not extolling it as Cardona did there. But
right, but I mean, this guy's in charge of he's making sure our kids get a quality education, and he doesn't even know what Ronald Reagan said. I mean, the whole point of Ronald Reagan's point was limited government, and he's like, oh no, government's good, come in.
So
he's a Mimbo.
Bit of a reading comp problem with their Secretary of Education. Bigger boneheads, Cardona or KJP, the White House spokeshuman, who had this to say about the economy in question from Peter Ducey.
Wow, she sings.
Not that. That was not KJP. No, you're getting hacked. KJP in response to a question from Peter Ducey about if things are going so well, why don't the American people
dealt with COVID and the pandemic? Because they didn't have a comprehensive plan. The president came in, he passed the American Rescue Plan, which was able to get the economy back on its feet, which was able to open up small businesses were able to open up, schools were able to open up, and we understand what Americans have been.
Javier Milei is apparently coming to town to meet with Biden staff. Gosh, I would love to be a fly on the wall for a discussion on economic policy between KJP and the newly minted Argentinian president. It's just so entertaining. Point of order, of course, is the policies that I opposed, for example, lockdowns, that were initiated by state governments under President Trump. And he bears some responsibility for it because he didn't push back as hard as he should have on said policies. Yeah. But those policies were glorified and were given full-throated support from Biden and the entire Democrat Socialist Party, who, of course, wanted anything that was command control oriented to be enacted. But again, these are, points of order that the left attempts to gloss over. For more on all this and more, pleased to be joined by Steve Moore, Govzilla author and economist. Steve, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Well, good morning, guys. And look, I feel compelled to respond to KJP because what she said was so blatantly false, and it's insulting, actually, because if you look at the last 6 months that Trump was in office, he didn't hand over a disaster. The economy grew by 11% in the last 6 months because we opened up the economy by June of 2020, and the economy was roared back. In fact, we had very, very high growth. We had people going back on the job, and we had the vaccine that had come out. Now, here's an amazing statistic, and I bet I didn't believe this when I was told this a couple of days ago, so I went back and looked the statistics, and it absolutely is true. Did you guys know that more people died of COVID during under Biden than under Trump?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a pretty amazing thing, given the fact that we had the vaccine and so on. So how dare he say, "Oh gosh, I handled I handled the virus so well," and he was incompetent? No, we had the economy roaring, and the economy slowed down. The economy slowed down rapidly when Biden came in with his massive trillions of dollars of spending. So it just is absolutely untrue that we handed off a economy that was in ruins. He ruined it with the $6 trillion of spending we couldn't afford.
He's doing similarly with the auto industry. That's according to 3,900 car dealers across the country who sent a letter yesterday saying EVs are piling up unsold on their lots, and we'd like some relief from the mandate. the dealers have say they have 103-day supply of EVs compared to 56 days for all cars, and the mandates are negatively impacting their business because consumer demand isn't what imagine that the central planners anticipated.
Yeah, so I gave a talk, I think it was about 10 days ago, to the Auto Dealers Association. These are the people who actually have the cars in the showrooms and on the lots. And I say 80% of the men and women who are running these, they've got thousands and thousands of cars on their lots. They all came up to me and said, we can't get rid of the EVs. People aren't buying them. And, the factories keep sending them cars that people don't want to buy. And by the way, I'm not against EVs. Teslas are amazing cars. You put your foot on the accelerator. It's an amazing feeling. But, for a lot of reasons, Americans don't want to buy them. And so, you basically got a situation now. I mean, think about this. First of all, we've given billions and billions of dollars of federal tax dollars to the car companies to build the EVs, right, and all the loan programs. Then we pay people, we bribe people with a $7,500 check if they will buy a Tesla or, an EV. Then many states, I don't know if Illinois has one of these, but many states also have incentive plans that kick in another $2,500 to $5,000. So they're basically paying you $10,000 to buy the car. Then, if you notice this, Amy, if you go to like a shopping mall or something, all the best parking spaces are for the EVs, because, you're environmentally conscious, so you get to park in the first row. So
I park there anyway. I do. I'm like, what are they going to ticket me? I don't have a hybrid. How do they know that?
They're going to tell you. They're coming after you, Amy. But anyway, my point is, all these incentives, we're just throwing money at them, and people still aren't buying these cars. Less than 10% of new car sales are electric vehicles. Meanwhile, New Jersey, I don't know if it's happened in Illinois yet, New Jersey is now a state like California that's basically going to say, hey, after 2028 or something like that, it's going to be illegal to buy a car unless it's an EV. I don't know.
Well, that's going to happen in all blue states, I'm sure, eventually, especially since you're saying that they're piling up on the lots. I mean, they have to push their product at some point in time.
That's the other point. Thank you, Amy. You're exactly right. So now what's happening, they're already losing like $20,000 per EV that they're selling. And now they have to lower the price because, if you've got a surplus or something, the only way you can get them on the lot is, these car companies are going to take a massive, massive loss. And you know what's coming next, right? Dan, what's next? Oh, yeah, we have to bail out these companies because they're losing so much money.
Oh, and or force consumers to buy EVs by making those the only option.
Yeah, well, of course. And that's why, pretty soon, hold on to your gas cars, folks. Even if it has 100,000 miles, to be very valuable because, those are the only ones you'll be able to buy. Like, whatever happened to pro-choice? Amy, I thought the left believed in pro-choice, freedom to choose. But you don't have a freedom to choose what car you buy?
Not with vaccine mandates or with vehicles. Hey, you said something the other day on Fox News. I watched you about, we have student loan debt forgiveness plans. What about a credit card debt forgiveness plan? Because I smell a 2024 election coming up.
Yes, I got a lot of reaction when I said that. And people, look, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. Dan, you know me for a long time. But I do have a conspiracy theory that I think could well be the truth, which is we're going to get about 2 months before the election, like 8 months from now or so. And all of a sudden, Joe Biden is going to say, hey, I've got a deal for you. If you reelect me, I am going to forgive $1 trillion of your credit card debt, and the taxpayers will pay for it. Now, you may say that's a crazy idea, but he did it with student loans.
I mean, I wouldn't put anything past him. I mean, that's possible. But if he wants to to promote that idea, go ahead. I mean, I don't think the student loan idea is a game changer to their benefit, and I think there's still actually.
I don't know. Dan,
I think there's still a lot of commonsensical people at least in states that have not completely lost their minds that say, that understand the game that's being played there.
Yeah, but
the arbitrary nature of it.
Yeah, no, I hope you're right about that Americans are on the scam. But I know a lot of young people who's, I'm for the Democrats. They're going to wipe out, $4,000 of my student loan debt.
Yeah,
I hear. It's free money, Dan. It's free.
It'll get them to the polling place.
Yeah, I hear that a lot. And here's the good news: is that the young people that we obsess about so much don't decide elections. So let's keep that proportionality in mind. But on this EV matter and the whole eco supremacy end of times business, we have this COP28 conference kicking off in Dubai, United, and this is after. And I just love this too. I mean, talk about some people who know how to manipulate the white leftists of the West. A lot of these Arab theocrats. So the United Arab Emirates announced this spring they plan huge oil and gas expansion in advance of being the host of the COP28 conference right now.
Yeah, right. I mean, and by the way, the biggest polluter on the planet, of course, China is not going this year because they're too busy building coal plants.
Meanwhile, they're going to have
Meanwhile, they don't have enough airports for all the private planes that are flying in. I mean, this is a joke. And by the way, what number is this? 28? And we've had 28 of these climate change conferences. And by the way, there's more carbon being, emitted into the atmosphere. And, in 2023, the consumption of oil, gas, and coal and fossil fuels will be higher than any time in human history. Are they making one bit of difference?
Right. Well, the answer is what we know from the science. Not that anybody cares about it with respect on the left with respect to their religion here, but I think we all know the answer to that in terms of any evidentiary support. Oh boy, now we've upset the dog.
The dogs are a bargain.
Yeah, even my dog agrees with you on that one.
That's good. It's unanimous.
These guys, all they do is sit around the table, drink champagne, and eat caviar and lobster, and talk about how concerned they are about the planet. And they've been doing that 28 times now.
And they take pictures for social media too. Come on.
Yeah, well, who doesn't want a picture of Leo DiCaprio? Of course.
Oh, although I do think, didn't Greta take a sailboat or something? $25 because you can't get a Subway sandwich anywhere. You can't. You have to. What you have to do is you have to take a bun. You have to cook a bun, and then you have to slap meat on it and slap some cheese on it and maybe some mayonnaise. And only Subway and what's the other one? Jimmy John's. They're the only ones who can really do that. They're going to have a complete monopoly over that industry.
Right. Well, so this is why the Federal Trade Commission should stop this unholy alliance.
maybe
too much power.
Maybe the three of us should maybe try to start a sandwich shop. We can compete with them,
Yeah.
What the heck will we call it?
I don't want to have to work that hard. I'd rather just have this cush radio gig. We're running a sandwich shop or any small business. That's too hard. Steve Moore, economist, GovZilla author. Thanks as always, Steve. Appreciate it.
Okay, guys. Have a great week. Take care.
You too, and he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Listen to podcast of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
At Signature Bank, going the distance for business banking customers is what we do every day. We understand that business owners have a strategic mission, a drive to succeed, a plan for growth, and don't have time to wait for a bank to respond. With Signature Bank, you not only have a banking partner that has roots right here in Chicago, but our decisions are made locally too. Signature Bank knows that when you have a question or problem about your business, you want answers. You need someone who will pick up the phone or respond to your text. You need someone who is always there for you. That's Signature Bank. We are a team that wants to get to know you and your business. Want to be Signature Bank's next success story? Give us a call today at 773-467-5630 or visit us online at signaturebank.bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Amy Jacobson and Dan Proft here, and we want to tell you about an opportunity for you to promote your business and to make a difference this Christmas season.
We're talking about our Food for the Poor Business Benefactor Program. We've partnered with Food for the Poor to provide life-saving food for thousands of children and their families in Latin America and the Caribbean during this season of economic decline, unemployment, and rising food costs.
Food for the Poor is working with local partners to make sure these children and their families get the food they need to survive. And guess what? Your business can be a part of the solution. Become a Food for the Poor business benefactor by making a $2,500 tax-deductible donation to Food for the Poor. And thanks to a generous match, that donation will help feed more than 30 children for an entire year.
When you do that, AM 560 will give you 40 one-minute commercials to air here on AM 560 The Answer between 5 a.m. and 8 p.m. Monday through Friday at no additional cost to you.
Call Anjanette Natowski at 847-472-8951. Again, that's 847-472-8951. Or go to 560theanswer.com